Bonjour. Today let's check menstruation and menstrual cycle. So, what is a menstrual cycle? So, women at reproductive age experience cycles of hormonal activity that repeat at about 1 month interval. So, that is why the term menstrual cycle, because it is monthly. So, with every cycle, a woman's body prepare for a potential pregnancy, whether or not that is the woman's intention. The term menstruation refers to the periodic shedding of uterine lining. That is, menstruation is a periodic discharge of blood, mucus, and epithelial cells from the uterus. It usually occurs at monthly intervals throughout the reproductive period, except during the pregnancy and lactation, and it is usually suppressed. So let's have a look at. There are four major hormones involved in the menstrual cycle. The first one is follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, luteinizing hormone, LH, estrogen, and progesterone. So the menstrual cycle is controlled by the cycle activity of the follicle stimulating and luteinizing hormone from the anterior pituitary and progesterone and estrogen from the ovaries. In other words, follicle stimulating hormone act upon the ovary to stimulate the maturation of follicle, and during this development, the follicular cells secrete increasing amount of estrogen. So we have a look at the menstrual cycle. The average menstrual cycle takes about 28 days and occurs in phases. So the first one is menstrual phase, the second one is follicular phase, then there is ovulation, and the last one is luteal or secretory phase. You can have a look at that, it is well illustrated there. Okay, let's have a look at the first phase now, the menstrual phase. So day 1 to 5, this is known as the menstrual phase. A lack of signal from a fertilized egg influences the drop in estrogen and progesterone production. A drop in progesterone results in the slotting of the thick endometrium lining, which is the menstrual flow. This occurs 3 to 5 days. So when you have menses that are lasting longer than 5 days, let's say you have a menstruation that is lasting 7, 10 days, you have another condition. There is a condition called menorrhagia. So you're supposed to consult with your gynecologist on the same. So let's have a look at the other phase, follicular phase. That is days 6 to 14. This is known as the prolific fertility phase, a drop in progesterone and estrogen stimulate the release of follicle-stimulating hormone from the anterior pituitary. So there is stimulation and maturation of an ovum from the Graafi's follicle. Near the end of this phase, the release of luteinizing hormone increases, causing a sudden burst-like release of ovum, which is known as ovulation. So let's have a look at the next phase, that is luteal phase or secretory phase. Days 15 to 28. This is known as secretory phase. High level of luteinizing hormone cause the empty Graafi's follicles to develop into the corpus luteum. The corpus luteum releases progesterone, which increases the endometrial blood supply. Endometrial arrival of fertilized egg. If the egg is fertilized, the embryo produces human chorionic gonadotropins. This is commonly referred to as HCG. So most of the time when you're doing a pregnancy test, they usually check the HCG. So the HCG signals the corpus luteum to continue to supply the progesterone to maintain the uterine lining. Continuous level of progesterone prevent the release of follicle-stimulating hormone and ovulation ceases. So let's have a look at this diagram here. We have a look at this. You can be able to see that all this is controlled from the brain all the way. So you can be able to see the hypothalamus. Then there is gonadotropin releasing hormones. There is pituitary. Then you can be able to see the luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormones there. Then you can also be able to see there is estrogen and progesterone. Okay. Let's also have a look at what are the struggles that women go through when they are in this menstruation. There are some struggles that you can encounter. For example, there are some conditions. There is one of the condition we call this condition endometriosis. There is menorrhagia. So these are conditions that come with a lot of pain during the menstruation. And most of the time, you can have this pain when there is an underlying condition. So it is always advisable to consult with your gynecologist on the same. Okay, there is something else we need to have a look at. There is poverty that comes with these periods or menses because there are some things that need to be purchased. So there are millions of girls and women around the world that cannot afford the basic hygiene products. So I would urge you to always find it in your heart to support needy girls and women in your society. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I appreciate.